Hello everybody, this is Starman, and welcome to the final chapter of Let's Play the Pandora Directive, Mission Street. And not just Mission Street, but the very last chapter of the Pandora Directive ever. We have played through all of the various endings, all of the pathways getting to this point, and now we embark upon the final chapter. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I have enjoyed guiding you upon this journey, but now the time for me being schmaltzy is over, and the time to get on with it to the ending is upon us.
I step into the Pentagon chamber and take a look around. Suddenly, the floor tilts sharply, and I'm sliding into a dark tunnel. Fancy meeting you here.
I could say the same thing.
Well, have I kept you waiting long?
Oh no, I just got here.
Regan, what the hell?
I guess I was supposed to be sitting back in my hotel room like a good little girl, right? Well, I'm sorry, it's just not in my nature to sit around and let someone else make my decisions for me. I mean, I wasn't gonna let you and those two doddering old fools ruin everything I ever worked for. Here we are sitting on the greatest discovery in the history of the world, and they say get rid of it. Get rid of it? Great idea. I mean, who cares how much it's worth? Who cares how great the technology is? Not just to us, but to everyone.
Didn't you hear what Fitzpatrick and Whit were saying? We destroy ourselves with this.
Well, maybe we are ready. I mean, why don't we give ourselves the benefit of the doubt? In the hands of someone like my father, this new technology could open doors we never even imagined.
The problem is, these things don't end up in the hands of people like your father. They never do.
Well, maybe we should try and find a way out of here, huh?
All right.
Some of these figures look like they're ascending to heaven. There must be details in these drawings that can help me figure something out. The statue seems to be reaching toward the light from above. Seems to be about the only way out of here. Maybe Regan can help me figure something out.
Yeah, probably not.
And I lost my backpack on the way down here. Looks like Regan held on to hers, though.
You didn't lose it, you dropped it out, out by the entrance.
This rope isn't long enough to reach the windows. It's a cord made out.
But if I tie it to this, maybe it'll be long enough. Yeah, not so much.
So have you got any ideas?
Not at the moment. I was just looking at those holes at the top of the chamber, but even if we could reach them, they're way too small for us to get through. Let's keep looking.
Well, thankfully...
It's too heavy for me to do by myself. I could use a little help here.
Overside, honey. I'll move it.
Please, over here. Now. There it goes.
Yeah, the statue's broken into large fragments, but they're still too heavy to lift. Well, that won't work.
Of course, this begs the question of how they did this.
Base under this statue doesn't look like it's going anywhere.
Yeah, how did they do this with that statue on the platform before?
After you.
Come on!
Nag, nag, nag. Look at that. It's beautiful, just like a huge Christmas present just waiting to be opened.
Guess I should call Fitzpatrick and tell him we found it.
Don't call him. Let's just keep this between ourselves, just between you and me.
Seriously?
That is now it works, Regan.
But it can. We can have everything we ever wanted. I know people, we just have to tell them where the ship is, they'll give us everything we ever wanted. We can spend the rest of our lives together.
That isn't right, Regan.
What have you got to go back to? I mean, look at your life. It's a dead end and you know it. You can play it safe, spend the rest of your life with that little mutant girlfriend of yours, struggling and never taking a
How
chance.
do you know about Chelsea?
What does it matter?
Actually, I told her that I had somebody else last night.
Free to me.
Look, my life may not seem like much to you. My mutant girlfriend's not the most glamorous woman in the world. But I happen to feel a certain obligation to do what's right, and not just what serves my best interests.
What a lovely little speech. Now be a good little private eye and hand me that communicator. Or would you prefer that I blast a hole in you and take it myself?
Should be a question mark there.
Thank you. thought you'd be more surprised to see me.
Oh, I figured the NSA would be around here. I'm just wondering why I didn't smell you first.
This isn't official business. No. It's a purely personal matter between Miss Madsen and myself.
I offered you a piece of the action, Tex. You got no one to blame but yourself.
So you and Cross have been working together since the beginning?
It's disillusioning, isn't it? Well, it might make you feel better to know that she's taken a liking to you.
Don't know why.
I mean, I wanted to do away with you right away. And she convinced me that she could bring you over to our side. You look like you're a stronger man than I am.
Yeah, well, I guess we're just not cut from the same cloth.
I found out about Malloy and the NSA. Then I met Miss Madsen when I was looking for her father. Can you imagine someone selling out her own father?
I didn't sell him out.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. At first, we didn't have much luck tracking down Malloy's boxes, but then you came along. And I don't know whether it was luck or whether you're that good. But anyway, I decided to let you do the work. It was a good decision, don't you think? I mean, here we are at the appointed place and time.
You're not going to get away with it, Cross.
Oh, no? I don't see anybody here who's going to stop me. You know, when I first saw you, I wanted to blow your brains out. Not because I didn't like you. No, you're a very resourceful fellow. No, I wanted to kill you because I enjoy killing people. I find it very satisfying.
Yeah, well, I figured the way you played me for a sucker, you ought to be the one that pulls the trigger.
You're too good for your own good.
Enough talk! Say goodbye, Murphy.
Wait! Don't shoot. Spare him, and I will lead you to that which you seek.
It's a trick.
All right, old man. I won't kill him. Not yet, anyway. Lead the way.
You'd think he'd think better about letting me go ahead first, where I'm out of sight, out of gunshot. But oh well, I'm not going to argue about the villain being stupid at this point. It's gotten me this far.
Who are you, Tex?
I might ask the same question of you.
That will be disclosed. Would you step off the beam, please? This is an historical moment. We are standing in the midst of history. Those who arrived with the ship, if not our fathers, the fathers of our race. We're at least the guardians and guides of our ancestors. This is a holy place.
Enough of this fanfare. What's in there?
Twinkies.
That is the generator chamber, and the light you see is coming from the main power cell.
Well, let's take a look at that, shall we?
Your option.
Yes, keep walking forward. Keep going.
Wait for my signal. Hold it!
Let him go. We've got what we wanted.
She must help me to get this ship off the Earth, off this planet as soon as possible.
Why?
Explosives! Anti-hydrogen pods set to go off in a very few minutes. We've got to get this ship as far as possible from the planet Earth in that little time.
You know how to fly?
I know!
How do you know it even works?
I know how to fly. My father, a long time ago. Listen to me now, follow me. This is important. My mother's an American woman in Nebraska, but my father's DNA is in me. I know how to fly this ship. Now, you must find the black sun symbol and press it.
Okay, I want to hear more about you being a half alien, but yeah, I guess we're not going to hear that story.
Find black sun. Black sun button, press it. Then, north. Circle. Red. North, circle, red. East. East. Cross.
What was it Fitzpatrick said? North, circle, red. Now what?
Well, this one seems like it's random, but there is actually a pattern to it. Their logic is that once we hit the black sun button, it'll prime the engine, and then we have to do a direction, a symbol up on this top row, and then a color. So we have north circle red, and then he said east cross. So you look here, you see we got the black sun in the middle, then we start with north, then the circle and red, and then east, which is right here in the cross, which is right there, and then the next color would be orange. And the pattern is constant, except it's not immediately obvious. So then we're supposed to alternate. So then we go south, and then it will be the triangle on the far end, and then yellow, and then finally west, the diamond over here across from the triangle, and then green to go. So let's go east, yeah, black, then north, circle, red, and got the little lights there, then east, cross, orange, south, triangle, yellow, and west, diamond, green.
shouldn't have taken your eyes off him.
Yeah? Well, where were you? Murphy, if you'll open up, I'll be very nice to you.
Now that dive wasn't strictly necessary. I think it's worth noting that if this seems like a ripoff of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, this came about 15 years before that, and it's lots better. But yeah, we just saved the world. Again. And again. And again.
Open up, Murphy!
Well, here we go. Day 10. Just desserts.
Not long after, Elijah Witt shows up. As we fly home, I fill him in on what happened. He's kind enough to write me a check to cover my expenses, and then some. As soon as I'm alone in my office, my thoughts turn to Chelsea. Regan had been the ultimate temptation, but it's only made me more sure about my feelings for Chelsea. I give her a call and we make a date for a long overdue dinner in her apartment.
So the spacecraft gets higher and higher and it finally disappears. And then about 5 seconds later, BAM! There is this huge explosion. And I guess there's just little pieces of Jackson Cross and Regan scattered all over the Andes Mountains.
That is quite a story. I mean, what does that make it? 4, 5 times now you've saved the world. Don't you ever get tired of doing the same old thing?
Do I detect a little note of skepticism here? You don't think I make these things up, do you?
Oh, who, me? Of course not, sweetie. It's just that, well, no one has ever actually seen you saving the world.
It was on the front page of the newspaper back in Mean Streets.
Okay, that does it. I'm retiring. This is a dirty job. I am underpaid. And when I get through cleaning up other people's problems, I get tossed aside like a loaded Huggy.
Come on, it's not that bad. Besides, Mr. Detective, I love you just exactly the way you are. Warts and all.
How did you know about my wart?
Lucky guess. Are you all finished with dinner?
Yeah, I'm pretty well done with that. What do you call that anyway?
Lasagna.
I'll tell you, that's not what my dad would call it. You're brutal.
Okay, so if you're all done, I have a surprise for you, and I want you to stay right there, and I'm going to be right back after I change.
So maybe it's not a perfect world, but right now it's pretty damn close. Maybe no one will ever believe what happened to me, but I'll get over that. Because I'm caught up on my rent and I still got some cash left over. On top of that, I just had dinner with the girl of my dreams, and now it's time for a little dessert.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Cover your eyes.
Baseball.
Okay, you can open them.
Wow, she had time to put her hair down, too.
You know, I've got a coat just like that.
Oh, what a coincidence. I was down in Phoenix, I learned to square dance, and it is so much fun. And I know how you love to dance.
It's just that I was kind of expecting something different.
Oh, I know what you had in mind. And apparently no one's taught you the true meaning of do-si-do.
Yes. Yes, I want to learn. I want to learn.
So yeah, my final point total, 1491 out of 1500. Not quite perfect. I probably missed looking at a few things before I picked them up here and there, but yeah. Congratulations, you've completed your trip down Mission Street. By choosing the high road, being kind and thoughtful, and doing the right thing, you've helped to save the world and won Chelsea's heart. But there are two other paths, which we have already done in the earlier video series, so yeah. So final thoughts. Pandora Directive, it's a great game. Historically, it's rather important because I think it was one of the first games that let you do this kind of multiple endings based on your morality, even though they did kind of cheated a little bit on some of the endings not being wholly unique, and you're not really getting a positive, negative ending. But then again, I like that because, you know, it doesn't make sense for Tex to be the bad guy. Just doesn't suit him, doesn't suit the series. But yeah, it was a great game, and unfortunately, well, the next game isn't bad per se, but it kind of suffered a little bit from the technology of the time and some behind-the-scenes issues, and, well, I'll get to that next time, but this is probably the best overall of all the Tex Murphy games in terms of story, overall acting, overall execution. It's the one that probably turned out the best of what they were intending. And I love it. I would definitely recommend picking it up, either by itself or with the whole package whenever Good Old Games does a sale. But thank you again for tuning in and watching this, and we will conclude as we have with the ending credits and some rather wonderful music. And I will see you all next time when we pick up with Tex Murphy Overseer. See you then.
The office lights are growing dim. The candles, they don't help. The only thing that passes through my grin is pain I've never felt. Oh, 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 oh. The street outside is deadly dark. If you listen, you can hear a million radiated thoughts, and people disappear. Oh, oh, oh. Now that dark is light, reason seems to lose its will to fight these lonely blues I get in flight. So I'll drink myself asleep another night. Riding on top of mystery, I looked into the fire. I'm just the son of some bad history. Can't get no higher, higher, no higher. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I got one last chance to get it right. The connection is fading. You can bet your life I won't give up the fight, because my sanity ain't worth trading. It ain't worth trading. Oh, when day is night, I always seem to lose the things I seem to choose that makes it right. So I'll close my eyes and sleep with all my might. So I'll close my eyes and sleep with all my might. And maybe when I wake, it'll be all right.